I have been waiting on this, Fingers Malloy, for months. For months and months with bated breath, nay, with joyous and nervous anticipation.
The new Taylor Swift tour?
That is not it. It's Eat, Drink, Smoke. I'm Tony Conson. That right there is America's favorite amateur drinker, Fingers Malloy. From Aladino, that's JRE Tobacco, JREtobacco.com. This is the Cameroon Reserva, and I could not be more happy. This got announced at the Premium Cigar Association trade show, and we spoke with Justo, Eiroa, and we're going to share that with you. I did everything. I begged, I pleaded to have one, to get a box. Dear Lord, let us try it. And you know what I was told? Sit down, fatty. I was like, my God, that is no way to talk to Fingers Malloy.
Right, that's true. Well, then how did you ever get your chance to get your hands on one of these?
Because they're finally out.
Oh.
They're finally out and available to the people. This is, think of it as a Cameroon Puro. And I am a sucker for a Cameroon wrapper. This is Cameroon in the wrapper, in the binder, and in the filler. All three. But it's not, the Cameroon, I should state, the seed is grown in Honduras. So I think that the purist would not say it's a Cameroon Puro, but I would tell the purist to shut their dumb face.
Good for you.
That's the kind of man I am. This is a 6x52. It only comes in one size, which means it's 6 inches long. Always makes Fingers Malloy laugh. And the ring gauge is a 52, the diameter of the cigar, or really how thick it is around. Again, with the laughter, a 64 ring gauge would be a full 1 inch around. Nice size. Nice feel, Fingers Malloy. What is fascinating about the wrapper? Drier than I thought. I was expecting... It's not that the Cameroons I smoke are oily. I guess I was expecting a little more of a sheen. I was expecting a little more feel, but it's Cameroon throughout, man. It's that toothy kind of wrapper going on that just makes me smile.
Well, that's one of the things I wanted to mention is, do you think that this is a little bit smoother than maybe you were expecting it to be? It's not as toothy.
A touch, a scotch, a smidge. I don't know what other word I can use. I have touch, scotch, and smidge. I don't know any other words.
Let's go with touch, gauche?
Scotch.
Scotch. Oh, how gauche of me to get that.
Oh, look at you.
Look
at you. You spend a little time in Vegas, and all of a sudden, you're an aristocrat.
I actually saw the Aristocrats in Vegas.
Oh, did you really?
Yes. Fascinating show.
You're going to need some eye bleach for that. By the way, if you've never seen the documentary, The Aristocrats, do not watch it with children. It's the only advice we could possibly give. I have been very excited to get into the cigar. You're puffing away, Fingers Malloy. We've just lit this up. Where you at?
Mild bit of spice and wood. Not a lot of sweetness yet, but I confess, Tony, I've actually had one of these.
I know, because you're a lowlife. You had one, and you're like, all right, now I'll bring one to Tony, and we'll do it for the show. I love that you were able to get your hands on them. I think JRE is wonderful. I think the whole Aladino line is really, they touched on something in a very, very big way. The Cameroon. So there is a Cameroon that they do in the Aladino line. This is just Cameroon throughout, and so there is a difference, and you felt the difference between the two.
Yeah, I did. Well, and listen, I'm a big fan of their Cameroon Lancero, and I know we've talked about it on the show before, where a lot of guys want to stay away from the Lancero just because it feels a little dainty in the hand. But when you're talking about flavor, that ratio between wrapper, binder, and filler with Lancero, you're getting a lot more flavor from the wrapper. I'm a big fan of that cigar. I'm interested to see what you think. You asked me what I thought of it, and I kind of held back.
Stop! I need a moment alone with myself.
Oh, there you go.
First of all, you said what? Your flavors were what right off the bat on that?
A little bit of spice and some wood.
Okay, the wood is absolutely there, but that is sweeter than it is spicy.
Isn't that amazing?
There's a little bit of pepper, but that is that feels very good. Now, I think I cut too shallow. I think I need to cut a little bit more. We did a straight cut on this, and I like to shallow cut really as little as possible off the cap. You remember cutting from the cap, lighting from the foot, so I can always get a little bit deeper into it. I want to savor as much as possible and a little bit of intensity in the draw, but I might need to open that up just a bit. And it's also possible we're going to smoke this and find that we absolutely need to do it again in 3 months because it needs a little bit of time to lay down. The idea of laying it down is that a cigar can be what we would term as green, right? The oils haven't had a chance to really move with each other. The tobacco or the cigar itself, whether it be the tobacco itself or whether it be the transport of the cigar, it needs a little time to acclimate, a little time to get its humidity right, get everything kind of in balance. So you lay the cigar down. You just take it out of the cellophane and hold it. Keep it in your humidor a few months. Let's start with 3 months. Be patient, people. You want the right smoke there. And then you'll try it again. I did the last time I really concentrated on that. Davidoff did the whole chef's table cigar collection there. And so I laid it down by doing, I got the box of 10. I did one a month for 10 months to kind of feel where some of those changes are. I figure by about month 4, I didn't really personally feel the difference going forward. It had kind of really, for me, gotten to a good spot. But this is an absolutely beautiful cigar.
Yeah, so this I purchased 2 weeks ago, and it has been in my humidor for 2 weeks, so it has not been resting all that long.
No, not at all. This straw is a touch tight, but I think it's the cut. I think we're going to need to cut again. Now, make sure you get your notebooks. Get them out. What did you eat today? What did you drink today? What is the weather? We've had humidity in Indianapolis, Indiana. Rain. We've gotten the remnants of Beryl for all our people in Texas. Man, you've been going through a thing for sure with Beryl. The flooding in Houston going on and everything else. We hope you're okay. We hope you're well. If you need anything, let us know. If you need cigars, we'll send. I don't think that'll be helpful. The best thing I saw was our friend Corey, who owns Blend Bar Cigar, took a picture off the TV screen. It was the reminders for people, hey, the local supermarkets, you're going to need your provisions. When it comes to water, only 4 cases of water. You're limited to 4 cases of water and 2 briskets per person. Texas is special, ladies and gentlemen. That is just a special right there. So you take your notebook out. What'd you eat today? What'd you drink today? What is the weather? And then break the cigar up into thirds in your mind. The first third, the second third, the final third. And what are the flavors that you're getting? And you write that down. When you go back and you test that cigar again after 3 months, right? You've let it lay down. You do it again. See if there are any notes that are familiar, any notes that connect. That's your through line. That's where you were with the palate on that cigar. But right now, the burn is beautifully even. I'm very happy. I'm going to cut a little bit more, but I'm a happy man just to have this cigar in the studio. Well,
as you know, Tony, I like to say measure once, cut 3 times.
Is that what you say?
Yeah, that's what I say.
You are the Bob Vila of cigars.
I've heard that at least once.
Right.
So there you go.
So in the 2 weeks since you've had the cigar, is it smoking differently?
I'll tell you, the only thing that I noticed, and this, it could have been a travel issue, it did fall apart on me in the final third.
Oh, in the last cigar.
Yes, the last cigar.
We'll find
just
out.
in this.
We'll find out if it does here. Find everything we do at eatdrinksmokeshow.com. Justo, Eiroa, JRE Tobacco caught up with them in Vegas, and the new cigar, their Aladino Cameroon Reserva. It's Eat, Drink, Smoke. I'm Tony Katz. That is Fingers Malloy. This cigar I've been waiting on for months, and we spoke to Justo Eiroa about what the cigar is about and means to the family. Justo Eiroa, JRE Tobacco, and you know that we are crazy fans of the Aladino. The Aladino Cameroon is in my humidor. It's in Fingers humidor all the time. And then we get to the show, right? Premium Cigar Association trade show. And, of course, the Aladino booth. And Justo here shows us this, which we're not allowed to touch.
Well, I'm very surprised because my wife got it out of the display box and I didn't know she was coming and she didn't allow us to touch it. So, we just could look at it.
This is a Cameroon Puro. So not everybody deals with Cameroon. It's actually kind of a finicky tobacco to utilize as a wrapper. And you've seen some people play with it in binder and filler kind of situations. Sometimes I think to have just to say Cameroon, sometimes certainly for flavor. But a Cameroon Puro wrapper, binder, filler. Yeah. First of all, where'd you get that much Cameroon? And secondly, Is this like old family conversation here come to life, or is this just you on a bender saying, let's do something insane?
Well, it's both things.
Right.
So to give you a short story, a long story short, we started growing Cameroon in 2016, like we did Sumatra. So and sometime between 17 and 18, we were trying the pilones.
Okay.
And, we started making a puro when we came out in the days of Camacho. We did the 100% Camacho Corojo, and we already had experimented doing a puro, and it worked out fantastic. So this puppy, when we were trying the Cameroon in the pilones and just doing the tasting of the tobacco, how it burns and everything, we went, wow. It is basically an intense flavor of sweetness and spice. So that is something that for us we just went, wow. I said, hey, we got to do this. But, the first year we did like 2 acres, then we did 4 acres, then we did 16 acres. So it took us a while to grow up to 50 acres for the last 2 years. And now we have the material to come out. And I think this cigar is going to really innovate the palate of everybody that's out there, because it's something really, really special that nobody's ever done before.
What is interesting in this conversation you might have missed, the number of years in the planning to be able to get to the farming place, to be able to feel that you've got the tobacco right in the field, to then go about seeing if the blend will work. This was a multi-year process.
You're looking at 8 years, 8 years.
That is a part that people forget. There is no other Cameroon Puro out there
that I know of. And I think that we know of. I don't want to say absolutely, but like I said, we're at least commercially, I don't think anybody's come up with this. And we're very, hopefully this will become something that other people will try, but we're the ones the first innovating this. So I think it's going to be a great experience for the palate.
Innovation to growth. There are people here at the show, cigar brands that we all know. This is what they do. This is what they make. This is what they've always made. Is what people expect. It is what they enjoy. Innovation has a tremendous risk to it.
Absolutely.
The financial risk to innovation is, it really starts to hit home when you think about the number of years it took to get to this place. How much risk is this box of 10? How much risk, by the way, it is a beautiful box in the green and gold, right there. Yeah, that's right. I'm touching the box. So that's
Vivian.
That's happening.
Don't get mad.
Eiroa family.
He's actually talking the box. He's touching the box.
What are you doing? I'm talking. Weird. What are we looking over there?
Oh, she's in the back.
How much?
I'm worried about a knife.
Oh, she's in the back?
I'm worried about
the box. How much risk is this? I mean, as to the company.
No, you know what? It is a lot of investment and time to get things right. But I think the risk of not doing it is a greater risk. So with us coming out and the way people are just going to be surprised of how great tasting this cigar is, I think all the risk is worth it. There is no reward if there's no risk.
Right.
So I think, honestly, we're very happy to get this done. And absolutely, we're very excited to see the response that's going to come out. All the boxes have already been allocated. There's going to be very limited. It's going to be coming out during Father's Day. And I think, honestly, I think it's going to be a welcome surprise for all the cigar smokers that have never tried something like this.
One of the other new cigars that you have, I had the privilege of smoking last night, which is the Fumanoche.
Yes.
Which is it's a big pup. It's a 6x60.
No, it's a 54 by 6.5.
That was a 54.
That's a 54.
It must have been a long night last night. It was a big hit you cigar. Where did that come from?
Well, one of the things we've always been known for using Corojo. And one of the things we're trying to do now is get away from the stereotype. Oh, we're only known for Corojo. So now we came out with a Maduro wrapper, which is also grown on the farm. And we added some other blends in there that will give you that sweetness and power that are hidden with other tobaccos that we have, and has no pepper.
Right.
It's very sweet. And it creeps up on you. It really creeps up on you.
The creep up, I can attest to. We have talked both off air and on about the economics of our situation in the United States, and to how it plays in the selling. Right, we've seen the boom of COVID. Then you take that away.
You have removed the supply chain issues in the main, which is a plus. What's the outlook for 2024? And have you had to, as many have, changed price points on their cigars to deal with just the reality that tobacco is more, the shipping is more, the box is more, the cellophane is more, it's all more? Everything is more. And you need to understand, too, that, for example, during COVID, containers used to be 20 grand. Before the COVID, a container from China to any Central American country was $3 grand. Okay, now the container is no longer 20 grand, but it's $8,500. So I mean, they tripled the price. They tripled the price. And whatever you were buying, if a plywood sheet was $350 or $375, now it's $5-6. So everything went up. I mean, everything has gone up completely out of whack. And there needs to be adjustment in the cigars. We're doing the adjustment. So one of the things that we need to do is compensate that with volume. So for us, is to always have a very accessible product, a good product for the mass consumption. So we need to adjust prices in a small amount, the smallest amount that we can. So we are also very affordable for consumers and also give you a value added and a great product. So we're betting on doing stuff at a high quality and high reward for the consumer.
Go back to this Cameroon Reserva for a moment, because when you look at the box, it says Aladino. Aladino is the main core brand.
Yes, sir.
Right?
Yes.
You have some more budget-friendly branding as well. Do you take a look at that economic reality and say, maybe it is time to add a new brand to the list? Or do you feel that the brand build is so valuable, the name is so connected to something, that it's simply better to add more offerings to that brand?
Well, if you see now that we're coming out, once you establish a brand, now you start coming out with more offerings and at a higher price points. And I think that's what we do. It's taking us like 7 years to get where we're at. And now we're slowly coming out, La Fumanoche, the Reservas. And you can see our portfolio growing at a higher end status because we already built that following with the regular core line.
That is Justo Eiroa. It is Jerry Tobacco. Eat, drink, smoke. It is your cigar, bourbon, foodie extravaganza. I'm Tony Katz. That is Fingers Malloy. Everything is available at eatdrinksmokeshow.com. Smoking the Aladino Cameroon Reserva. This is a quasi, I'm going to call it, Cameroon Puro, the wrapper, the binder, and the filler. JRE Tobacco said they were putting this out. We caught up with them back in March in Vegas, and now it's out. I have been waiting for this cigar so far. I had to do a little bit of extra cut to it. I needed a little more, and it'll make it a little easier on the draw. Fingers, I'm a happy man.
So here's my question to you, because I am starting to get a little bit of a sweetness, but it's almost like an almondy kind of sweetness, that pepper.
Nothing wrong with that.
Peppers there, wood's there. The construction's fantastic. Nice even burn like you talked about. Haven't had to touch this stick up at all.
Yeah, I've only touched it up because I'm like that guy, right? I'm always like, I can get a little bit of burn this way. I can get a little bit of burn that way.
So that's an interesting question. Are you the type that if your cigar starts to canoe, are you patient enough to turn it around and let the heat rise to make it more of an even burn, or you just take the lighter?
I definitely turn it around. I give it a little time to catch up, and then I help it. No, patience matters. Don't get me wrong. We've discussed it many times, but I do find myself touching up more than not. The sweetness is there. The difference between this, if I'm remembering correctly, and the Aladino Cameroon, which is just the Cameroon wrapper, this hits me right now is a bit richer, and not fuller, right? I'm not saying stronger. I'm saying a richer cigar is exactly where I am with this. I like what I'm experiencing right here quite a bit. This is, to me, a very, very solid cigar. I think that the milk chocolate brown of this is beautiful. I happen to like the banding and the gold and the brown very much. It fits together. This is nice. And the nutty, I am there. I might see it as richness. You might be seeing it as nuttiness, but it doesn't come off as a cream or as a creamy. So that's where I'm trying to make the distinction in how my palate feels it. I like this a lot, Fingers Malloy. The question is this in your humidor at an MSRP of give or take $21 a stick?
Well, it is right now. So the answer is yes.
It is now at your local tobacconist where you got this, was it $21 a stick?
I believe it was 23.
Okay. I can appreciate somebody trying to get a little bit of a extra love on it. It just came out. Is this a $23 stick?
I think if you are a big fan of Cameroon wrapper, and like you said, the flavors hit just right. I love the look of the stick, like you said, the bands. It's all right. It all looks very good. Would I have 10 of these in my humidor? Probably not. But this would go into, when you start getting into, for me anyway, $23, $25, $30 a stick. That's more of a special occasion cigar for me. I would have a couple of these in my humidor for a special occasion.
I'm accepting the fact that there are price increases all across the board. I'm accepting the fact that it takes more to do everything across the board. I wish this was 19 and not 21. Mm-hmm. That's a small difference, I think, for a large result. That said, at this stage of the game, I'm in the first third of this cigar. This is 1,000% in my humidor by the box. I never thought that it wouldn't be. Not every Aladino hits me in this way. I happen to like the brand. I really love the people. I love Justo himself. I love Vivian, his daughter. I think they're smart. They're delightful. They care. It's really good stuff. And I love the family connection, going back to his father, going back to this roots and this concept of Aladino. I think they build a nice stick. And I think for a lot of the things they do, they're probably, again, over by the $2. Not over by 20.
Yeah.
Not over by 5, over by 2, which is, at that moment, Tony, you're just being a petty jerk. You really, like, that's absolutely what I'm doing. This is where I want to be.
Now, I don't know.
This is nice.
I don't know if you covered this or not, or if this information is even out. Is this a limited run? Or is this going to be part of their permanent line?
That's a great question to which I don't have an answer.
Okay.
I think sometimes, the answer is exactly how popular is it?
Yeah.
Right? And then you have another issue, right? How are things growing? That's a huge part of everything. If there comes a year where the crop is not worthwhile, you can only use half of it. You might see less. So I don't know. Will I be ordering a box when we're done? Yes. Will I order 2 boxes? Most probably. Absolutely. This is feeling daily cigar for me. You know what I would love to see this as? You're going to yell at me, and don't yell at me. This is a 52 ring gauge. I'd love to see it in a 48. I'd love to see it a little bit smaller. I'm fine with the 6. Mm-hmm. I'd love to see it a little bit smaller in a 50, in a 48, and kind of see if that really allows me a little more enhancement. Now, since it's Cameroon all over, maybe you don't feel that much of a difference. But I think with mouthfeel, I think I'd get a little more out of it. And that, again, I am being such a petty jerk. It's ridiculous.
Since we're completely just tearing
We're talking about petty jerks.
Well, since we're just completely putting this stick under a microscope, I don't care for the mouthfeel at this ring gauge, but I do like it better in the hand.
Yeah, that's weird. I hear what you're saying though. Right, but you're a big guy. You're like 6'3" with the Mohawk 6'7", and that makes sense. I am much more mouthfeel than hands because, and you're like this, we're down with the Lancero. Oh, give me a Panatella. Give me that 38, that 43 ring gauge all day. Zero issue. It's just, I don't know. It's just, there's something that says I'd like it in that just a bit smaller ring gauge. But my complaints are very, very muted. Really, I'm pleased with the stick. It is time. It's the Cameroon Reserva from Aladino JRE Tobacco. Time for News of the Week.
Well, let's stick with the cigar theme for this segment and for News of the Week. Good news out of the state of North Carolina, Tony. North Carolina Governor Ray Cooper signed a bill into law that will allow for enhanced flexibility in permitting cigar bars in the state.
It's Roy Cooper. His name is Roy.
What'd I say?
Said Ray. Like,
Well,
you can call me Ray.
His
and you
friends
can
call him Ray.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
I didn't realize.
I got new glasses.
Oh, you did? You did? They look good.
Thank you.
No, you've had those for a couple weeks.
Yeah,
They look
they're-
fine.
they're new.
This is really good. It had passed the Senate. It passed their House of Representatives. So the thing here is that the cigar bars do not have to be in freestanding buildings unless they serve food. So that used to be the case. Now it no longer has to be in a freestanding building, and it allows existing cigar shops to seek the permitting. So this is a step-by-step thing. You're rolling your eyes. The permitting is ridiculous.
Of course it
the
is.
hoops are nuts.
These rules are just insane. I mean, you go back to the COVID restrictions when you could go into a restaurant and have a gal from Hooters hand you some wings and sit next to somebody and eat wings, but you couldn't go to a cigar lounge in some places. Insane.
So this creates the opportunity for North Carolina to add more cigar lounges, and that's what you want to see. This is a very pro-business move. This is also a pro-adult move. If adults want to have cigars, let them have cigars. Leave these people alone already, for the love of the Lord. So I applaud it. It's not as far as they need to go, but I'll applaud a baby step when it happens, because it leads to another baby step.
Well, and also what's great about it is it allows existing cigar shops to seek such permitting as well. So the mom and pop stores will be able to expand a little bit and give the customers what they want.
Which is what I want. It's all I want. So some nice movement there. Usually the news is so down and dreadful. Finally, Fingers Malloy, bringing us something happy.
Way to go, Ray.
Way to go, Ray. So we know that interest rates have been a bit of everywhere, and there's this real talk now that Jerome Powell, chairman of the Federal Reserve, is going to lower them, because he put out this statement, this kind of missive the other day, that, keeping interest rates this high might be bad for the economy. Now, there's a lot in that comment, and specifically the idea that he said that interest rates would stay high to combat inflation until inflation was under control. And it's not under control yet. We certainly have seen some numbers recently that have come out that can make you feel like we're heading in the right direction, but we're not there until we're there. You got to let these things build. If inflation's coming down, good for all of us and for our love of cigars, bourbon, all sorts of things. But it has to happen and be sustained over time before you really feel comfortable with it. It's Eat, Drink, Smoke. I'm Tony Katz, and that right there is America's favorite amateur drinker, Fingers Malloy. Everybody is taking a look at rates, and the housing market, amazingly, has managed to stay hot because the inventory conversation, Fingers, what you can buy, not there. And one of the big things that has been driving this is that families that, let's say, are empty nesters, and they've got a 3,500 square foot house, or 3,000 square foot house, they're not moving. They can't afford to move. So families that want to grow don't really have a house that they can move into. And then you've got the new construction conversation happening, but still at interest rates of 7% plus, it makes it harder to buy a home.
Yeah, we've talked about this before on the show, and I'm wondering when the media narrative is going to start to turn, and you kind of see it a little bit, where the stories, the analysis, it's all going to start coming out. Geez, why don't these boomers sell their big house? They're really being selfish by keeping the home that they're in right now, with so many young people that are trying to start a family and need a house that size. They're desperate to get them, but these boomers, they're staying in their big houses. When do you think that starts coming into play, where you start seeing the negativity?
I assume that it will eventually, because those kinds of things do happen. Those stories do get written. But there's an interesting story here about the types of homes that they say the value is going to fall apart in 2024. I find this list to be awkward, Fingers Malloy, because some things are not. We often joke that we come across these lists and they should be put on our new website, duh.com, because of course, these things. For example, homes in climate vulnerable areas. Never mind how much I hate the term climate vulnerable. You mean flood zones? which we used to just call flood zones. Yes, a house in an area that is prone to flooding will be worth less than a house in an area that is not prone to flooding. This isn't new. This isn't interesting.
Well, I think that what they're getting at, is hurricanes and, places where there's risk of wildfires. I mean, you hear the stories about people in Florida who are having a difficult time being able to get homeowners insurance because obviously if the devastation from hurricanes and how expensive it is to rebuild, a lot of insurance companies are saying we're out.
But I'm not disagreeing with that part. When they say climate related, they're trying to make a conversation that's political towards green movement conversation, as opposed to places that get more hurricanes than others. You know where you don't get hurricanes? Indiana. We never get hurricanes in Indiana, but Florida is going to get hurricanes because, well, Florida gets hurricanes. This is geography. To make the claim climate related is the politics part that I so absolutely abhor. But yes, a flood zone, just like something in Tornado Alley, might have a harder time selling. On this list, outdated single-family homes. Single-family homes that have not been updated or renovated in decades don't hold as much appeal to buyers. Absolutely true. That's been true for forever. There's nothing new in that.
Well, but I would argue that because prices have gone crazy in the single family home market, that before people were willing to buy a fixer upper. But now when you're trying to get a home and the fixer upper maxes out your budget and then some, people are less willing to buy those homes.
I don't disagree. I think that what is the counter to that is, yeah, but what's the school district like? If you've got kids and you want your kids at a certain school, look at you. You're like, hell yes, that's the truth.
Yeah, honestly, suck it up that your kitchen looks 20 years out of date. Your kids are going to go to a good school.
And so this is why that house then does sell. Luxury urban condos. I don't even know what this is. What is a luxury urban condo?
You're in a high rise. You get the
downtown.
Condo. Yeah, downtown. You got a nice view. Maybe people are looking to get out of the city. Maybe people are looking to get out of condos in general. You're seeing, again, I hate to pick on some of the stories you're seeing in Florida, but
yeah, why are you so anti-Florida?
I love Florida, but there seems to be, I guess there was a law recently passed regarding that condo, that huge high rise.
That was the Surfside condo that collapsed. It wasn't that big, but yeah, it didn't have the proper inspections and between the city and others who didn't do their job. I mean, people died. It was a horrific story.
And I guess that there's some talk about there's special assessments in some of these condos now where condo owners are getting these huge bills to make sure that their buildings are up to date.
Right.
So I can see where people are like, hey, I can't afford this. I got to get out of here. And like I said earlier, we've talked about how some of these cities and how they are enforcing crime and prosecuting crime. There may be a lot of people who are thinking to themselves, wow, I spent a lot of money on this condo and I don't feel safe.
That, I think, is the one that no one's talking about. If we're seeing that level of exodus, the idea of whether or not it's a city that wants to do something about crime, right? I don't think you're not talking about promoting crime. You're talking about enforcing the laws that go against criminals.
Sometimes it feels like they're promoting crime, but go ahead.
Right? I think that's a huge part of it. The idea of whether or not you feel safe. Sure, you want all the amenities and everything else, but if you're not so sure you can walk back from the bar to your condo without getting mugged, you're not going to live there.
Yeah.
And rightfully so. Homes near polluting industries. This list is so dumb.
I got to tell you, what I thought of, I grew up in Saginaw, Michigan. Between Saginaw, Michigan and Bay City, Michigan.
I hear it's Saginaw-awesome.
It is. Between Saginaw and Bay City, there's a sugar beet plant.
Really?
Where they process sugar beets. And it's gotten better. But back in the day, the odor in this area, I don't know how anyone could live in this area.
Why? What does a sugar beet process plant smell like?
It smells like if you were to take sweet peas
Oh, sweet peas.
and mix them with human excrement. That's what it smells like.
Huh.
Yeah. You don't see very
So
many
earthy.
Yankee. Yeah, you don't see many Yankee candles made of that scent.
Oh, really?
But it's gotten a lot better since when I lived there 25 years ago. This is nothing new. I'm sure that I wasn't in the market for a home back then, but I'm sure that homes in that area were not exactly in high demand.
And I think that I'm really interested to see over the next decade, right? So we've seen more and more people move south. Baby boomers get older. They want to be warmer, leaving those Northeast enclaves, leaving some of those Northern Midwest enclaves. Now you've got younger families that need a place to afford. Do they start saying, okay, I can set up a life in these places? Or are some of those towns really like the days of the plant, the days of the mill, the days of that centralized type of industry that built the town, fed the town, created the town, and kept the existence of the town? Since that's gone, there really isn't any other drive or magnetism to it. Are we going to see some of these towns actually die out in the Midwest and in the Northeast?
Or maybe the exact opposite, where if they're closer to a larger town, maybe people are going to get out, and those small little towns may grow because people are looking for cheaper property, may still have a decent school, but don't have some of the problems we talked about, say, when you're in a luxury urban condo.
Right, which can be fixed if you actually do the job. Gosh, remember when we used to do the job? Good times. Sometimes in the back of the liquor cabinet, you find something, you're like, oh, I forgot I had that. Today is one of those days, because we've talked about Bardstown before, Bardstown Bourbon Company, and the really excellent work they do. And they've got a whole series of different styles of bourbons, but they've got the Fusion series. Well, they're on number 9. They're on the Fusion series number 9, which is this unique mix of bourbons. But I had a bottle of the number 7, and Fingers said, well, you should open that. And I said, okay. It's Eat, Drink, Smoke. I'm Tony Katz. That right there is America's favorite amateur drinker, Fingers Malloy. And this right here, Bardstown Bourbon Company, the Fusion Series number 7. Coming in, Fingers Malloy, at 98.1 proof. Oh, so very close. Applause for anything over 100 proof. 98.1. So close, yet so
Far away.
So far away. This is a blend of 5 different bourbons, 3 3-year bourbons, 2 12-year bourbons, and the mash bills are all over the place in the amount of corn and the amount of rye and the amount of malted barley that they've got. It is a unique put together, but Bardstown should be trusted. Bardstown should absolutely be trusted. By the way, beautiful bottle and a beautiful color to the bourbon right there. A little bit of copper going on in that color. A little bit of almost orange going on there. Absolutely love it. It looks like bourbon should look, Fingers Malloy. We've got this in the rocks glass. That is a sweet nose.
Yeah, it is.
That is a sweet, sweet nose, Fingers Malloy.
So I'm getting vanilla, oak, a little bit of floral.
No, the floral I'm there with can also be seen as fruity, but that's nice. That is a nice simple. There is a little bit of oak on that, which I very, very much like. Touch of citrus on that, which I very much like as well.
Yeah, the nose is not overpowering.
Oh,
that's nice.
Pretty. That is pretty, Fingers Malloy. We've done some Bardstowns. We've done we've done the Fusion series. I forget which one. We did it was with rum. I'm trying to remember the name of it. And I
had
can't
it all
now.
pulled up, Tony, and then
it wasn't the Discovery series, right? That wasn't it. Was it? No. It was. Oh, it's gonna come to me. I'll figure it out in just a second. I'll search. You drink. What's the matter, Fingers Malloy?
I was going to say, while you do that, I'm going to take a sip.
Fingers Malloy, you ready for this?
I've been ready for this all day.
The Distillery Collection is the one that we had. Or was the Collaborative Series. I don't know. I'll search. He is doing what's known as the Kentucky Chew right here on the Bardstown. This is the number 7 in the Fusion Series. You move it around the palate, move the bourbon around the palate, get an idea, get a feel for it. Sometimes you want to take 2 sips. The first one to set the taste buds, the second sip to really get an idea of the flavors. Fingers, where are you at?
There's that citrus that we talked about on the nose, of the vanilla, caramel, and oak. It doesn't play like almost 100 proof. There's a gentle sting on the tongue and palate. No warmth burn at all in the chest. It's really nice. And I know you like a good oaky bourbon. I'm getting a nice bit of oak on this. I think you're going to enjoy it.
Well, I'm going in. I am going in here. It's the Fusion Series. This is the number 7. So this was 2022. I think is when
correct.
It was. And certainly over the last couple, number 8 came in at about 95 proof. The number 9 coming in almost 97 proof. So this is a little bit higher in the proof just by a touch. The Fusion Series from Bardstown Bourbon. I'm going in, Fingers. I'm going right in. I'm going in.
He's going in, ladies and gentlemen, and he's doing what we like to call the Kentucky Chew.
Oh, that's easy. That's a little bit creamy. That's a nice citrus. For me, a citrus feel. Again, going back to what we're doing with the cigar, the Aladino Cameroon Reserva. I called that cigar rich. Well, this is a little bit in that vein. Rich, luscious is happening, and that finish is super simple. There is the slightest heat going on. It's actually building a bit in the center chest. You've got a little bit of tingle in the tongue. That's not nutty in the finish. Yeah, maybe it is.
I can see that.
Just a little bit. That's a nice piece. Fingers, that is a nice bottle. Oh, right there. I'm having a little trouble distinguishing what is the flavor that I'm getting. Hold on, I have to go back in.
He's going in once again, ladies and gentlemen. He's doing what we like to call the Memphis Munch.
That feels good. A touch oaky, a little bit orchardy. I think that's what I'm going for. I said citrus. I'm gonna change my answer, Bob, and I'm gonna go. I don't know who Bob is. I'm gonna go with a little bit orchardy, right there, which with a touch of nuttiness on the palate and heading into the finish. That heat center chest does build over time. That's nice. That is really smooth too.
I'll tell you what, and it pairs so wonderfully with this Aladino Cameroon Reserva. I don't know, because I said during our review of the cigar that there's a little bit of that almond sweetness, and to me they just really play well together. You said that you thought you got a little bit of a nutty.
Yeah. There's something there that I think I would call a nuttiness in that flavor that's resting on the tongue. There was a part of me that almost thought I was getting a cinnamon. I'm like, no, that's not it. That's just a little bit of the sting, and my tongue's playing a trick on me. I'm not gonna fall for it. You can't. Yeah, not today, tongue Satan. Not today.
Nice. Nice. By the way, I saw Tongue Satan open for Danzig in '92. It was a fantastic show.
By the way, I'm pretty sure you can't say Tongue Satan on radio. I'm pretty sure.
You sure about that?
Yeah.
I don't think George Carlin mentioned Tongue Satan.
Yeah, there have been regulations since. Right there. That is a nice if you can find it. If you can find the number 7, someone's going to tell me, by the way, oh my gosh, you had an unopened bottle of Fusion Series 7? That was worth $40 billion. Well, screw it. We did it for love. We did it for love and Eat, Drink, Smoke Nation. The question, Fingers Malloy, is that in your liquor cabinet for about $60 a bottle.
Yes.
Yeah. If you could still find it at that price. And that's where they seem to be priced for the number 8 and the number 9 as well. Nice piece.
I'm seeing several online retailers that are saying it is still available.
Yeah, that's a win. That's a win. I don't know if it's as traditional bourbon as some might like, maybe a bit of a stronger oak, of a little more intensity, but it's a nice flavor. I almost wish it was a touch oakier in the finish, but I am not complaining. Independence Day is come and gone, and I will tell you, Fingers Malloy, you were out gallivanting. World traveler, you were. Where were you? Where were you again?
I was in fabulous Las Vegas, Nevada.
In July.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not the best time to be in Las Vegas, Nevada.
I disagree with you.
Eat, Drink, Smoke. I'm Tony Katz, and that right there is America's favorite amateur drinker, Fingers Malloy. Why is Independence Day the best time to be in Las Vegas, Fingers?
Because nobody's there. People look at the weather conditions in Las Vegas, and when they hear record temperatures, 117 degrees, they want no part of it. So hotels, they're empty. Casinos, a little emptier. Restaurants, I went to Hugo's Cellar.
The great Hugo Cellar inside the Four Queens in the basement.
Yes, and normally, when you and I have gone there in the past, now, granted, we would go there on a Friday evening. I went there on a Tuesday evening. Party of 3, sometimes we'd be in there over 2 hours.
Right.
I was in and out, party of 2, an hour and 10 minutes, and didn't feel rushed. It was, what an experience.
Did you have the prime rib?
No, I went with my standard New York strip.
Oh, is that right?
I said to myself, the last time I went there, I got the smaller steak, and I was grateful that I did because I was able to finish everything and not have to be wheeled out.
Right. So you did it again.
Yeah, I got the smaller steak. I got a 10-ounce New York strip. By the time they give you the salad and all the other stuff, they give you 15 loaves of bread right to the table there, and then the chocolate strawberries. Wonderful dining experience. Last time I tried to get a big hunk of meat, a big cut of prime rib, I was only able to eat 3/4 of it, and I was miserable the rest of the night.
I want that right now.
But everything, it's dead. I was walking up Fremont Street, up and down. There's nobody there. It was beautiful. It's beautiful.
So you like all the things, you just don't want the people.
Exactly.
Well, those of us who were really properly celebrating America, I was here in my beloved Indiana, and I was grilling and smoking up a storm. My brisket, after the trimming, 10.5 pounds, so a little bit smaller than I normally do. Perfection. My mango habanero grilled chicken, perfection.
Wow.
My barbecue grilled chicken, perfection. My homemade potato salad, a little bit mustard based with mayo, perfection.
Egg in the potato salad? No egg in the
No egg in the potato salad. No egg in the potato. Daddy needs to hold the line somewhere. And so I hold it at egg right there.
Did you make that Greek weird watermelon?
Oh, yes, I did.
Surprise salad, whatever the name of it.
The orzo watermelon feta salad from
real.
Pioneer Woman, Lee Drummond. Genius. It's brilliant. It's spectacular. I will make it again in another 3 days.
Oh, wow. Well, how come you didn't save me any ouzo salad?
Because you don't know how to pronounce it.
Oh.
I think that's why. And I made hot dogs. Grilled the hot dogs. And the hot dog that I used was the Kirkland. I used the all-beef hot dog that they serve at Costco. I couldn't find the Kogels. He keeps telling me Kogels from Michigan, the only hot dog to make.
Why don't you ask me? I got a hookup. I know where you can get the Kogels.
Get me a case.
I will.
Get me a case. We will make hot dogs for everybody. We will taste test hot dogs. This is happening. Go ahead. Go ahead, tough guy. Get a case right now.
I'll put a Kogel hot dog up against anyone.
Text your people. Text your people at Kogel. You're Michigan meat folk.
We all know each other. They're listening. They're going to send us a case.
And the hot dogs were great. The hot dogs were great. Then you come along with this from the people at CNET. CNET is a site that talks technology. And they have a headline, I found the best way to make hot dogs this summer, and it's not on the grill. And I just want to say to David Watsky, before I even read the article, the author of this article over at CNET, David Watsky, whatever you think you found, you're wrong. I want to start with, I'm sure he's a nice guy and loves his mom and all that jazz. David is wrong.
So you're saying his name shouldn't be David Watsky, it should be David Watsky?
He's never heard that before. Right there. And he is asking the age-old question, can you cook a hot dog in an air fryer? Fingers, I hate you. I hate everyone. I hate you.
The answer is yes. My air fryer has turned into a hot dog maker.
What are you even talking about?
I use my air fryer almost exclusively now for hot dogs. I consume a lot of hot dogs, Tony.
Is that right?
It's almost embarrassing how many hot dogs I consume in a week. My parents.
Whoa. How many hot dogs do you consume in a week?
Probably 7 or 8.
I'm sorry, what?
7 or 8.
One more time for the people in the cheap seats.
7 or 8.
You eat 7 or 8 hot dogs a week?
Yes.
A week.
You don't? You know why I consume 7 or 8 hot dogs a week? First of all, because Kogel hot dogs are fantastic and you would never get sick of them.
Are they all Kogel?
Yes.
Always Kogel?
Always
all
Kogel
all the time?
Always Kogel. And B, it's so easy to make in an air fryer. And I'm not going to tell you they're better than on the grill, but for when you add convenience to the flavor of the hot dog, air fryers are an excellent choice for cooking.
Here is how this guy, David Watsky, explains it. He uses a $45 Dash air fryer, but almost any model will do, according to David Watsky. Step 1, there are steps. Dear God, I have never liked you less. Score your hot dog with a knife. It's optional, right? Little slices in it. Cook the hot dogs for 4 to 6 minutes on high, 400 degrees Fahrenheit. Add hot dog buns to the air fryer for about 1 minute before the hot dogs are done. Dress with your condiment of choice or chopped onions and serve. Fingers?
Yes, except I don't score my hot dogs. I can see doing it. But, the toasted bun, the whole 9 yards, your hot dogs are done in less than 8 minutes. Between the warming up of the grill, the air fryer, the whole 9 yards, they're done. And you can get the paper linings, the wax paper, or whatever the material is.
Parchment paper?
Is it parchment paper?
Or wax paper?
Yeah.
Wax parchment paper?
Wax parchment paper.
Parched paper?
Yes. And you score that too. No, you don't score that. But you put the paper down, and it's easier to clean the air fryer. And you've got the hot dogs are perfectly cooked, and they've got a nice, if you're eating a Kogel hot dog with the natural casings, a nice snap to them. A little mustard onion.
No ketchup?
Oh, you're the worst.
I cannot begin to tell you how absolutely offended I am.
Do you have an air fryer?
No, I don't have an air fryer.
You don't
I'm
have an
a
air-
man.
Where can all men who have air fryers get in touch with you, Tony?
Fingers at eatdrinksmokeshow.com. I don't have an air fryer.
What's wrong with you?
I have an air fryer feature on my new oven. We've had it for almost a year now. I keep calling it new. It has an air fryer feature. I'm telling you, it's a scam. I am telling you that the air fryer feature on my new oven does nothing but transmit information back to the Chinese.
You're saying it's a Fonzie?
back to the Communist Party. That's all it does.
It's a Fonzie scam?
It's
a
not
Ponzi
a
scheme?
I think you mean Ponzi, not Fonzie. It is not an Arthur Fonzarelli scam.
That's what you're saying?
Good Lord. I grill my hot dogs like a grown-up, and they were brilliant. And I will gladly taste test hot dogs with you. When do you want to do this?
Next week.
Okay. Eat, drink, smoke. It is your cigar, bourbon, foodie extravaganza. I'm Tony Katz. That is Fingers Malloy. Find everything at eatdrinksmokeshow.com. And yes, we do have a new home for the podcast. So a lot of people would go to Fireside to get the podcast, or they'd go to their favorite podcast platform. We now have it over to a place called Omni Studio. It won't change what you do on your favorite podcast platform. Wherever it is you get your podcast, whether it's Apple Podcasts or Google Play or Good Pods or Spotify, wherever it is, it's still there. It is still waiting and ready for you. Be sure to download the podcast. Be sure to subscribe.
Yeah, just make sure, and Tony brought up the point, I know some of you would go to Fireside directly to get the podcast. the old podcasts still show up there, but everything is now switched over to Omni. So you're not going to see any new podcasts actually on Fireside.
And honestly, I don't know if any of this means anything to anybody. They're getting the podcast where they get the podcast. I'm like, guys, you're getting way too nerdy right here. We are smoking the Aladino Cameroon Reserva. It is a Cameroon Puro. I mean, even though it comes out of Honduras, the Cameroon seed, the wrapper, the binder, the filler, this from JRE Tobacco. I am a fan. Now, at the price point, at the $21, I got myself one or two issues. I'd like to see it just a couple dollars less, but I am really, really enjoying the cigar. I'm enjoying the flavor profile. I'm enjoying the construction. I'm enjoying the smoke. It's been a very, very hassle-free burn, and there will be a box of these that just got released, the Cameroon Reserva from Aladino. There will be a box of these in my humidor, unquestionably.
Yeah, I'm very happy with the cigar as well, and I've noticed that you and I have both smoked this relatively quickly.
It's quite all right.
But there's more where that came from, right?
And we are... That's right, Fingers. Did you just say right?
Right?
What was that?
What?
That was so pedestrian of you.
That's what they call me, Fingers Pedestrian Malloy.
Right? See what I did there? And we are drinking from Bardstown Bourbon, the Fusion Series number 7. So this came out a couple years ago, had it in the back of the liquor cabinet, and we said, let's open this up. It is a blend of 5 different bourbons, 3 3-year-old bourbons and 2 12-year-old straight bourbons. This is nice. I don't necessarily want to move it to the rock, Fingers. We've got spheres today.
Oh.
You can add just a little bit of water if you want, but me, I'm going right in. I'm going right in with my sphere.
Oh, very fancy.
Right here. Hopefully the glass doesn't break. And boom, there it is. There it is right there. I'm going in with the sphere. Some people believe in the sphere as opposed to a big rock in that it will melt a little more uniformly. You're not getting the edges of the big rock or of a cube that start melting quicker because you can argue it's thinner. This is very much about personal preference. I don't think that anybody has, and no one has shown me the great scientific detail that shows why a sphere is better. Again, this is about you. What do you like, kitten? What are you into? What works for you? These are the questions. Now I've got it on the sphere right here. I'm going in, Fingers.
He's going in, ladies and gentlemen. And he is doing what we like to call...
Oh, it built up some heat. No, wait. Was I supposed to... I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go right ahead.
Wait, what was I doing?
You were enjoying your bourbon.
Wait, hold on. I was going in. You were saying?
You were doing what we like to call the Saginaw Swish.
And it has built up a little heat. Thank you, Fingers. Well, that's exactly what I was doing, the Saginaw Swish. Are you still sore from the other thing, right?
No.
Are you still sore?
Listen, I don't get sore about anything on this show. I'm here for sarcastic comic relief.
And a fine job you're doing.
Thank you. And sometimes, most of the time, I'm the butt of the joke, and that's completely fine.
That's not
with me.
true.
Oh, please.
That's not true. You're the butt of the joke.
I'm waiting for it. Here it comes. Here comes a zinger.
I had to cough. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. I won't lie. It was better neat.
Yeah.
It was better neat.
So
it's taking away some of that richness. It's bringing out an intensity of heat. No, Fingers. It's ruined.
Oh, that's a shame.
It's ruined.
Well, I just put a couple of drops of cool water, and actually, normally I put a couple more drops of cool water than I did this time. But these spheres melt very slowly.
That's science. He's going in. He's taking a sip. He is doing what we call the Bardstown something. Is what he's doing right here. The Bardstown something.
Okay. For me, it took. You said you didn't think it was citrus. You thought it was more orchard. I still say it's citrus for me, and it took most of that citrus away, and it brought out a little bit more oak. So
really,
yes.
Wait, hold on. Yeah, wait a second. No, I'm not sipping yours. I don't know where you've been. You just got back from Vegas.
See, that's what I was talking about.
You're gonna need some black lighter. was something. I just thought you got more oak?
Yes.
Nah. Nah. So water does open up your bourbon. It also brings down proof. It's the only thing that'll bring down proof. The only thing you're allowed to add to bourbon in the barrel is water to bring down the proof. That's it. You do anything else to it, it's no longer bourbon according to the rules of bourbon. You can find out those rules with our book, Let's Go Bourbon, available at Amazon.com. It has also the ability to intensify and to dilute certain flavors. This it just really brought up the heat, dialed it up, and it's not working for me. Nah, man. I mean, I'm glad that you're getting more of the oak. I think that's great.
I would suggest to you to try this with just a couple of drops of cool water in it and see, because you like your oaky bourbon, and I believe that this took a little bit of that, what you call orchard, I thought was more of a citrus. It took some of that away and brought out more of the oak.
Yeah. Teach their own. Teach their own. I would do this neat $60 a bottle. I would have this bottle in my liquor cabinet, and I did have it in my liquor cabinet. And if I can find another one, I'll throw another one in there. But it's time, Fingers Malloy, for News of the Week.
Well, a sign of the times, Tony, in this inflationary cycle that we're in right now, Costco is hiking membership fees for the first time in 7 years. So if you were planning to get a Costco membership, you may want to get it before September 1st. Depending on the membership, the increase will be anywhere from $5 to $10.
Yeah, so if you've got the basic membership, it goes from $60 to $65. And if you've got that, premier business membership, it goes from $120 to $130. It's not going to stop me from going to Costco. It's not going to stop me from getting my $1.50 hot dog, which has not changed price. It's not going to change my shopping habits one bit. But the price of everything has gone up. Why are we surprised?
Oh, we aren't surprised. Well, what's surprising about this, and what I think the news out of this, is that it's the first time in 7 years that they're raising membership fees. I mean, Costco's done a really good job of keeping their fees down and keeping some of these staples that people love about Costco the same price. Like you mentioned, the hot dog. It's still... What the former CEO, didn't he threaten the new CEO, say you better not raise the price of that hot dog?
He may have.
That has stayed the same. Look, I've tried different these membership, these warehouses, these buy bulk centers, and to me Costco's always been my favorite. Sam's Club is fine, BJ's is fine, but Costco's still king in my book.
And it's how they do the presentation. I agree with that wholeheartedly. This is not a price increase that's going to make people run for the hills. If you saw price increases on the Costco basics, like real price increases on bread, on eggs, things like that, then you'd start hearing people scream bloody murder, right? Then you'd have people with great amount of anger.
At some point, I think, too, you're going to get to the point, if these memberships really start going up, where people are going to reevaluate whether they need to buy bulk. You know, if you're only living by yourself and you still have a Costco membership, and that membership yearly fee is low, you're thinking, oh, I'm going to do it anyway, but there may be a reevaluation if these rates start really going up.
Yeah, but you're talking about the membership fee?
Yeah, the membership
fee. To what number? If, let's say, the basic one is now $65, what is the number of, forget this, double? Is it $130?
If you're a single person, you think, am I really going to spend that much money to buy bulk? Do I really need to buy bulk?
Maybe for that person, but it'd have to double. Prime Day is upon us, and as Fingers Malloy says, it's the most wonderful time of the year.
That is so true. That's when you put a plate of cookies down by your chimney and Jeff Bezos comes flying down and offers you tons of cheap crap.
It's a magical time. Be sure to tell the kids to get their sleep, because Prime Day is going to be super exciting and busy. It's Eat, Drink, Smoke. I'm Tony Katz, and that right there is Fingers Malloy. Find it all at eatdrinksmokeshow.com. It's going to start next week. You're going to have the Prime Day. I think it starts July 16th is what it starts. And Prime Day is when Amazon says, hey, we're going to give you $5 off everything. Ooh. I believe that's the official statement there. But you have a list, Fingers Malloy, of the best Prime Day deals. Do you not?
Yes. And thanks to our friends at NBC News, they compiled this list. And right off the bat, Tony, the Amazon Fire TV stick, now it's regular $39.99.
Right.
According to the Tony Katz rule of Amazon Prime, this should, or what Prime Day extravaganza, Prime Day 2024, this should only be $3 off. But no, Tony, it goes from $39.99 to $17.99.
Ooh. Ooh.
It's almost like they can make money off of a cheap Amazon Fire Stick if it's connected to your TV.
Okay, but that's your TV. But what if I need something I seriously can use every day? Like the Tub Shroom Ultra Stainless Combo.
I'm sorry?
I have no idea what the hell this thing is. It's called the Tub Shroom. It's not drugs.
Oh,
What is it?
it's to protect your tub drain so you won't have a bunch of hair going down the drain and clogging things up.
Is that right?
It's a tub shroom.
Oh, it's a strainer and hair catcher. And now I'm not going to eat again. That's gross.
Okay, $13.32 on sale for that. Are people paying $22 for a strainer for their tub?
I guess if they're very hirsute, that would mean hairy.
Oh.
That's what it means.
I thought you were saying people showered in their suit.
They don't.
Oh.
They don't. The Amazon Smart Plug. You can control, when you plug electronics into the Amazon Smart Plug, you can then control them via its companion app or by using voice commands. Fingers, this is the clapper. This is the clapper for a new generation.
Well, that's what I was about to say because I think we brought this up on the show. 2 months ago, I bought a clapper, a real clapper. I found it at Ollie's, as seen on TV, the clapper. And now, if you walk into my home and go by a living room light, you can go, and the light will come on. No having to walk all the way over and pull the string.
What does Mrs. Fingers Malloy say about this?
That's what she says. Because having to go over and walk over to the other side of the room and pull the string, who has time for that, Tony, in 2024? When you can clap on and clap off. I don't know. I don't like all these devices connected to your personal electronics or lighting or anything like that, or the thermostat. Do you have a thermostat where you can control the temperature
like
from your
Google
phone?
does it with Nest and some other
Yeah.
ones. Nah, I don't like any of that. I mean, I won't do a Alexa. I won't do a whatever they are. I won't do it with the dots and the echoes and the thing. Get off my lawn. I don't do any of that.
I go to my dad's house. Oh, by the way, it has nothing to do with what's going on with Walgreens, but my dad just got word that his pharmacy is closing. So we just had this discussion about people having to move, and he gets, he's 86 years old. I think he's on 37 prescription drugs.
Right.
So he's been to Rite Aid Rite Aid has been struggling for some time. They're closing pharmacies across the country, and he's trying to make the move to a different pharmacy. And what a pain in the neck that is. If only he could connect his pharmaceutical drugs right to his smartphone and be able to order from the smartphone. Is that available nowadays?
I don't know, but it'd be a lot easier if he could just go and drugs would appear in his house. I'm pretty sure for that to happen, you have to be a sultan. JBL Tune Buds. These are wireless earbuds. Normally $99.95. $99.95. Now only $59.95 on Prime Day. Are we being sponsored by Amazon?
No, but
Then what the hell are we doing?
because everybody goes crazy about Amazon Prime Day.
And buys stuff they don't need on credit cards. Macy's. Holy crap. Macy's just announced that they're raising the rate of their store card 34.49%.
Oh my goodness.
34.49%. If you are buying anything on a Macy's store card, you're out of your mind. You are basically involved in indentured servitude at that stage of the game.
You could buy 3 suits from Macy's, make the minimum payments, and you'll pay off your mortgage faster than your credit card.
34.49. That is nuts. But a lot of this on Prime is stuff that's like, okay, that would be cool, but you don't necessarily need. I will give you one, for example. I actually own this. The Bose SoundLink Flex Bluetooth portable speaker. It's great. Keeping it in the kitchen. My wife hooks up Spotify to it or listens to it when she's on Spotify or YouTube listening to music. It sounds great. Perfect for the kitchen. If you want to move it outside, it's terrific. If you just like to have a little more sound, a little more bass, a little more richness, but you're not like an audiophile and you need a Sonos or something like that, terrific. Usually $149, now $99. That's pretty good.
I have to believe that the Eat, Drink, Smoke podcast, which is available on your favorite podcast platform, would sound fantastic on the Bose SoundLink Flex.
World class, ladies and gentlemen. So, okay, maybe there is, you know what? I've been looking at that. I've been thinking about that. That's a good deal. I'm going to get that.
Well,
maybe, but don't spend the money you don't have. This is a debt driver.
Well,
right
some
here.
of it, but listen, and these, I'm not seeing anything right now on this particular list of things like big electronics, like televisions, things like that. But, and I'm not positive, but I know on most days of the year, if you find the exact same product at Best Buy that's on Amazon, they will honor the Amazon price. Now, whether they do that on Prime Day, I'm not positive, but that's where this really comes into play. It's like if you don't want to, it's like I'm a little skeptical about ordering a TV and having it shipped to my door. I would rather go to Best Buy or another retailer, Walmart or whatever, and take it home. And that may be just crazy. It's just part of it is I know I can just return it right to the store if there's something wrong with it instead of having to go through the Amazon return process. It's nice to be able to go somewhere and say, hey, you do price match, right? Well, it's $300 off on Amazon. You're going to match that price, right? And a lot of the retailers, if you look at certain on this list that we'll have at eatdrinksmokeshow.com, they also list other retailers, what they're charging at the time. And a lot of them match the Amazon price.
They've got the Roomba, you know, the little puck that vacuums your house.
Oh, I thought that was a dance.
No. That is the lambada. Oh. That is the forbidden dance. The Roomba is normally $799.99. Let's round it up and call it $800. Mm-hmm. Now, $399.99. $400. It's half price. It's a vacuum. But it vacuums the room without you having to do anything. It doesn't. I've actually thought about getting one for the new studio.
Yeah.
Turn it on at night, just let it do its thing and not worry about it. But I am a believer that when I wake up in the morning, I'm like, hey, I have to do radio. The entire studio will be on fire. Like, no, I really have to start trusting technology.
Well, that's where I get my exercise. I get up in the morning, I vacuum every room in the house. Gets the blood pumping.
Is that what it does?
That's what it does. Makes me feel physically fit.
Drinking the Bardstown Fusion Series No. 7 bourbon, a blend of 3 3-year-old bourbons and 2 12-year-old bourbons. $60 a bottle if you can still find it because this one comes from 2022. It's nice. It's a nice bourbon. I prefer it neat. You're okay with a little bit of water?
Yeah, I am. And also, I barely get winded while I vacuum.
That's good to know. You done with all your vacuum jokes?
Yes.
All right. And not one of them sucked.
Oh, see what you did there.
Right? Yeah, look at that. We've got a theme. And the Aladino Cameroon Reserva, new out from JRE Tobacco, $21 a stick. Yeah, I'm buying them by the box. Nice work, Aladino. Find everything at eatdrinksmokeshow.com. This is Eat Drink Smoke.
Follow Eat Drink Smoke on social media, on Twitter at Go Eat Drink Smoke, on Facebook, facebook.com/eatdrinksmoke, and Instagram at Eat Drink Smoke Podcast.